morning, everyone. My name is Nicole DuPont. I'm the Instructional and Library Research Technician at the Bermuda College Library, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And my apologies for not dressing to fit the mood this morning. I kind of lost the plot on that, but luckily I haven't lost the plot on some fun books to celebrate Valentine's Day. So I wanted to share with you all some LGBTQ plus romances that we have in the library that are available for you guys to check out. So if you're feeling in a romantic mood and feel like taking a trip to the BC Library, we have lots of great stuff for you to check out. The first book I wanted to talk to you about, it's a little unfair because it's currently checked out, but it's one of my favorites, so I wanted to share it. It's called Let's Talk About Love, and it is a library romance, which always warms my heart to see library romances, and it's about Alice, whose life is pretty much perfect, with the one exception that her girlfriend has just broken up with her because she is ace, and Alice is trying to figure out how to navigate that in her life and how to kind of reconcile like her sexuality with wanting to have a relationship. And then while she's working at the library, she meets Takumi, who is kind of checking off all the boxes. And Alice would really like that to work, but she's not sure whether he is interested for the long haul. So it's the story of how they come together, and of course lots of library hijinks and lots of friendship hijinks around along the way, which is really fun. We also have, I know I've mentioned this in a previous book talk, but it bears repeating because it is just such a sweet love story, The Prince and the Dressmaker, and it's about Sebastian and Frances. Sebastian is a prince, but one of the things that he really likes to do in his spare time is he loves dressing up in dresses and full female finery and everything, and it's a secret that he can't really share with anyone because he thinks that it would make his parents very ashamed of him. And he meets Frances, who's a very talented tailor who kind of breaks the rules, and they team up together to basically create Lady Crystalia, Sebastian's alter ego, and Frances designs all of the fashions. But just as things are starting to go really well for them, then the problem comes where they have to kind of reconcile whether keeping Sebastian's secret is something that they can do, and it means that Frances can never get credit for her art and her talent, and whether they love each other enough to weather that storm. So it is a wonderful, heartwarming story. It's one of those ones that you can just read again and again, and it just makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So I hope that you'll come to the library and pick it up. And here's one that I just finished reading. If you are somebody that really likes all of the drama, this book is definitely for you. It's May the Best Man Win. And it is about Jeremy, who has just come out to his high school as his real self. So he has taken up his new name. He is emerging. He's always been captain of the cheerleading squad. He used to be part of the, number one most popular couple in school. And now he has broken up with his ex Lucas because he doesn't think that Lucas is going to be all right with his, real identity. And so the two of them decide, both, out of a lot of like hurt that's come out of their previous relationship and trying to deal with all of their stuff, that they are both going to run for prom king, or homecoming king, I should say. And so they have a lot of hijinks when they kind of like step on a lot of toes to try and get there. And they are always like not always very nice to other people in their quest for glory. And they're also kind of dealing with all the emotions that go along with having a breakup of somebody that you thought you'd be with forever. And so it's messy, it's difficult, but it is a really compelling story. It's one of those ones that you just like gobble up like really, really quickly. And I think I read this in about a day because I just had to see what happened next. So if you like kind of all the drama, all like the messy, like, this book is a really hot mess, but like an excellent story. So I hope you'll pick that one up at the library. And here we have one of my all-time favorites. This is the first volume, and we have ordered volumes 2, 3, and 4, and 5 is not yet out yet, but we are going to be getting it for the library. It's called Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. It's one of my all-time favorites. I think I've reread this just countless times. And it's about Nick and Charlie. Charlie is out at school. He's had a really rough time. He was kind of forcibly outed, and so had to deal with a lot of bullying. And he's finally come through and is sort of comfortable with himself. And a chance sort of meeting in a homeroom class where they're sat next to each other starts off what begins as a friendship and gradually grows into a love story. Even though Charlie kind of is very convinced that Nick is straight, Nick is kind of convinced that he's straight as well. And when he starts to have feelings for his best friend, he wonders like, what the heck is going on. And in addition to the two of them, they have a really wonderful friendship group that features very prominently in the stories. The art, the storytelling, and all the pieces of this are just really warm and fuzzy. Like it's one of those books that leaves you feeling very satisfied. Like when it's a cold day and you have a cup of hot chocolate, like this is definitely the book for you. And so I hope that you'll pop by the library and check that one out. And I have two other ones which have been recommended to me, but I haven't read yet. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about them as well. The first is You Should See Me in a Crown, which has been all over the place on all kinds of recommendation lists. And it's about Liz, who is, has a rock solid plan for getting out of her small town and changing up, her life in a really big way, getting a music scholarship. And when that scholarship falls through, Liz realizes that her only chance of continuing on with her plan is if she can win win prom queen at her school. There's a scholarship attached to that. And so even though she kind of abhors all of the rigmarole going along with that, it seems like her only choice. And then she finds out that she really starts to like the girl that she's running against, Mac, who is super cool, super interesting. And now she comes into that, conflict of does she want to keep running? Like, will this ruin her chances with Mac? Do they have a shot at, friendship or anything more if this is in between them? So this has gotten really rave reviews. It's one that has been on my reading list. So I definitely will come back to you guys if when I read it in the future and let you know, but I've heard great stuff about it and we have it in the library. So if you read it before me, you can tell me all about it and let me know. And our last book that I want to talk about today is Felix Ever After. And this one is another one that has gotten rave reviews from everybody. Any reviews I've seen of this book have been really positive. And the main character in the book, Felix, is kind of feeling like he is just one too many identities to really be loved. He's transgender. He is gay. He's black. He really feels like maybe that's just too much for any one person to kind of take on. And he starts being kind of harassed by somebody, and so he decides that he is going to catfish this person and expose them. But in the course of this, he kind of finds himself in a love triangle that he didn't intend on. And so I know this is one I've been really looking forward to reading, so I wanted to include it because also so many people who have read this book have just fallen in love with it. And it is in our collection here, so I hope that you'll stop by the library and read it. And we do have lots of other wonderful books here too. And of course we have fiction, nonfiction, and a whole gauntlet of other things. So whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy this Valentine's Day, I'm sure the BC Library has something for you. And certainly we're also here to help if you have any kind of research needs or you have any kind of book needs. We are here for you. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day, everyone, and take care. Happy reading!